It's a trap, you walk right into the hate. All over a new king that's face is just replaced. It's all the same, you still be ruled by force. And no matter who it is, you'll still carry on the torch. You'll still lie, cheat, and steal half of what you make. Taxation is steps, it's time to vacate the state. Newsflash, all your cash is an IOU. From killers who really do steal from you. Inflation is a weapon used by every nation who says that they're saving the world through lies. That they disguise and pass off as bravery. Well, I got news, debt is slavery. It don't matter who's madder, a new master don't matter. When they both want the same, the state don't play no games. They got you trying to survive and put you on sides and ready to kill each other. That's conquer and divide. It's all for show, or for hyper control.
Virginia's about to be like click bang pow boy.
And we're back with another episode of Boats and Tubs. We're here with you on this Monday night. Weird to say.
Yeah.
But we got schedule conflicts this week. And most of you probably noticed that we weren't on last week, which is strange for us. We're usually pretty consistent.
I would like to explain what happened in a text message that I thought I was sending to someone and actually sent to my father or my stepfather.
Mm-hmm.
The message read, given what the butthole is designed for, peeing out of it shouldn't be an issue. But if this does not stop, I'm going to have to start a GoFundMe for a new asshole. Shout out Butt Flu.
Yeah. My podcasting partner received the Christmas gift that keeps on giving in a stomach virus that knocked him out of commission for days on end. And unfortunately, I really couldn't find a replacement. You know, our normal people, I don't think they were available. So I was like, it's beginning of the year, and we only had planned to do like a year in review show, and it was like serendipitous. I just saw that day right before you're like, I can't do it. I saw someone complain on a podcast lovers Facebook page. Don't you just hate it when podcasters do a year in review podcast? And I was like,
we both do. We wouldn't do that, would we?
Yeah, right.
Thank
Says God. 2018.
Yeah.
2018 and 2017 and 2016. Bones and Toes?
Yeah.
Were they about back?
Right. Why is there fucking hair in my water?
Ooh.
Icky.
That's gross. It's never good.
No.
Especially you're coming off of butt illnesses. You know.
You'll have that with those bubbly water issues. You know? We got some stuff to talk about. First of all...
Sorry, I'm very unprofessional. I did not set up my workspace before we got started.
First of all, I want to talk about Virginia.
Oh, man.
In the news. Last I heard... What's this dude's name? And what's his station? It's not the governor, right?
He was some state rep. So, like... Not even like, we're not talking about a federal representative, a state representative.
Yeah, but is he the one that put all this shit in motion?
Well, no, he's one of the people. I don't even think the governor signed it yet.
What are they doing then?
But he indicated that he was going to sign it.
I heard they bumped it up from the 20th to 2 days from now.
Well, it was a matter of speculation. They're like, well, yeah, of course, reporters asked, like, well, what if, because, you know, sheriffs in a bunch of counties have already said, we're not enforcing this.
What we're talking about is a firearms registration.
Registration and red flag laws.
Mm-hmm.
You know, the sheriffs of these counties are like, and it's a lot of counties, are like, we're not enforcing these laws.
Yeah.
We're not going to do it.
He immediately responded with, well, I'll just use National Guard.
Yeah, well, he's like, well, see, this is why he's a state rep, because he said, well, the governor can call upon the National Guard to deal with this crisis. And
fucking
of course, that just like snowballed out of control because people are like, the fuck you? I hope you fucking do.
I wish you would, bitch.
Yeah, I saw that meme I saw where it's just Goofy.
Yeah.
And it's like, I'll fucking do it again.
I'll fucking do it again. Damien? Do you know what I could do to you, Damien?
So that's where we're at with Virginia right now.
Well, they went so far as to say that they're going to fire the deputies of those counties. Since they can't touch the sheriffs.
Yeah.
And the deputies are talking about joining militias or trying to be deputized again under the sheriff as a posse.
Yeah.
To maintain their status. But anyway, it looks like it's about to go down. They're going to have an armed Second Amendment rally at the State House, to which the either the governor or the state rep guy had initiated some bullshit Second Amendment free area around the Capitol. So they're going to encircle that area and supposedly stop traffic.
So
they've also been getting flooded with 3%ers and other militiamen from around the country.
I don't want to derail everything so quickly, but I was curious because I asked this question the other day and I actually didn't look up the answer to it because I asked who can arrest the sheriff, right?
Man, I like the old story better. I almost don't want you to tell me.
What did I tell you?
Only a coroner or other sheriff.
Coroner. Just coroner.
Not even another sheriff?
Nope.
Who makes these laws?
It says here, no police officer, deputy sheriff, state trooper, or any other sworn peace officer has the authority to arrest a sheriff.
Given what we know about coroners.
Now, it says here, if Officer Smith stops a car and the driver is the county sheriff who is drunk, Officer Smith can legally detain the sheriff until the county coroner can get there to place the sheriff under arrest.
Listen, Deputy Dave is not strong enough to stop a sheriff.
I think some of the sheriffs I know for a fact, they're like the Incredible Hulk.
Yeah.
You're not going to stop them.
No, they're a sheriff because they're strong.
Yeah.
Physically and mentally.
Do you know what
and they have psychic abilities.
Yeah, I'm going to derail this just a little bit further just because I can. You know what the sheriff, like their original job was?
Tell me.
You're not going to like it. Collecting taxes.
Oh my god!
Like, don't you remember?
So they elected him. They elected their favorite tax.
Well, okay, no. Here's the thing: the sheriff being an elected thing is a. Well, I mean, it's in other places now. I don't know if other countries have sheriffs, right?
Yeah.
Well, okay, so it started in England, right? And that was the whole premise is the king made sheriffs, and sheriff's jobs were to collect taxes from people, right?
Yeah.
Like, don't you remember from the old Robin Hood cartoon, the sheriff of Nottingham went around and fucking shook down poor people and fucking dudes with broken legs and shit?
Yeah.
Like, he lifts that fucking dude's leg up and starts hitting it, and gold coins come out.
Forgot about that.
And then he goes to the church and fucking robs it, too.
Yeah.
Because fuck them.
Well, I mean, given the last bit of our episodes, like, people know I don't have a whole lot of love for law enforcement.
Yeah, so...
We have a Virginia resident in the comments.
Oh, really?
Jason Doby. I hope I said that right.
Oh,
Hello,
maybe.
Jason. He said, I'm a Virginia resident. The Second Amendment sanctuaries don't mean much. We can't stop with those. They don't mean shit. I totally agree. I think every person... You shouldn't even have to reference the Second Amendment. The Second Amendment was put down so the government couldn't take away anything to do with your right to bear arms or fucking... any self-protection.
Because,
it's a human fucking right.
Yeah, the Second Amendment limits the government, not you. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's not a right given to you by the government. The right was there in the first place because it's a natural right.
You were given it by...
The Second Amendment is a promise by the government that they will not take away your ability to bear arms.
Fuck around and find out. I would like to take this time to show off my t-shirt.
Oh, I like that.
Yeah, I got this from Battle Bun Fitness as a Christmas gift.
I like it. Fuck around and find out. Oh, I like that.
Yeah, it's got a big igloo on it.
It's a big igloo.
Shout out Battle Bun
See,
Fitness on
now
Instagram.
My shirt just seems silly. It's a bunch of different types of owls in the shape of a heart.
Hey man, you're living your best life.
Because I love owls, you know?
Yeah, pygmy.
I got 2 owl shirts for Christmas.
That pygmy
and I
owl
couldn't be happier.
kind of looks like a avian version of Baby Yoda.
I like this boy, the barred owl.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah,
The barn owl terrifies me.
Oh, this one?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. They always kind of scared me.
Maybe in a past life I was a field mouse.
And then, like, if you ever watched that movie, Guardians, Guardians of
titmouse.
Cahul,
Yeah.
right? They, like, the main character is one of these, a barn owl,
Yeah.
right? But they call him Titos because that's their Latin name. But that completely derailed there for a minute.
Oh, that's fine. Totally do.
Sorry. But back to sheriffs. So, like I told you, I thought it was the coroner was the only person that had the ability, right?
Yeah.
It's the same thing. See, so in reality, the coroner to me is like the most powerful person in any given county.
That's why they're so goddamn humble.
Because here's the thing. A coroner has the dual responsibility of not only being the only one that can arrest a sheriff, he's the only one that can arrest a judge.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah.
What if there's I don't even know.
So you're telling me the dude that's in charge of death, it's some sort of weird symbolic thing, isn't it? Like,
yeah.
he's the most powerful person in the county.
Are they even strapped?
I mean, if I was a coroner, Zombies,
Well,
dude.
no, listen. If I was a coroner, I get you. But Bones and Tubbs are not coroners. Like they don't. I feel like they're not on our level.
The dude that would be my assistant would be pissed because he'd like come into work and be like, "God damn it, there's more bullet holes in these bodies again."
Couldn't be sure.
Motherfucker moved on me,
That
man.
one
What do you
farted.
want? What do you want?
You ever smelled a corpse fart?
I got a very itchy trigger finger, man.
Right.
You know. But no, so all these sheriffs are trying to do something about it. And, you know, I know this person who said they're from Virginia. It doesn't matter. But here's the thing. They rule by our consent. That's the one thing you got to remember. So
Jason Dobie, if you're still in the group chat, I would like to know if you've seen a lot of these 3%ers or any of these militiamen. I heard that they've been flooding flooding the area, the state, if you will.
I feel like Virginia had to be one of those places where there was a lot of those anyways. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but I mean,
if you were traveling through Virginia, which I've been to multiple parts of Virginia, you know, the coastal areas are a little bit more populous, but you get out into the western parts of the state, and it's pretty rural, you know?
yeet yeet.
Still mildly Appalachic,
Mm.
you know?
I did not know that Appalachians were considered a minority.
What?
Brother Elmo, he went to school on a minority loan for college.
Shut the Wait, hold on a minute. But Appalachians, they're not a race.
Just telling you, that's what he said.
I mean, like, I'm not going to dispute what he said. I'm just
I
trying
thought
to.
it was gangster as fuck. I didn't
It
know.
is. It's cool as fuck. I'm just trying to wrap my mind around it, though, because it's like, I mean, here's the thing. It kind of makes sense because, like,
Well, he said, like, I went to school on a minority loan, and I laughed, and he was like, oh, you're serious? Like, I don't understand. And he explained it. I was like, oh, okay,
I'm
cool.
from West Virginia, man.
You know.
But I didn't know that. I didn't know that they were their own subgroup.
Yeah.
Kind of makes me jealous now. Maybe a little bit. They got their own problems going on. You know what I mean? Because you got politicians constantly trying to destroy their way of life with banning an industry, which, I mean, I'm not going to jump into that one. I will say that I think it's very condescending of elites to be like, well, learn the code or learn to fix computers or something.
Right.
You
Shut
dumb,
the fuck up.
hillbilly.
Why don't you commit suicide? We kind of derailed there, but yeah, that shit's going down in Virginia. The Big Igloo.
Yeah.
Anybody else from Virginia that's going, or West Virginia or anywhere nearby, let us know what you've seen. Let us know what you've heard.
Our hearts go out to you.
The next thing that I wanted to talk about, and you can take this at any time.
No, keep going. I know there's things I want to talk about because it's been a while, so we kind of.
It's weird that normally when I put out a call for like, hey, if you're from this area or if you've ever done this, like hit us up, and we get hit up.
Yeah.
Forgive me. Apparently, my asshole dream has gone into my chest.
Ah.
The one group of people that I've reached out to, you've reached out to a number of times that never hit us back. Australians.
Listen, okay, right now I can see why they wouldn't be hitting us back because
Man, that's no goddamn excuse.
Listen, man, they got some shit going on. You know, those drop bears, those poor precious little drop bears they're literally dropping.
I mean, if you don't have water because somebody plugged up your spring that always flows to sell the water.
Hey, listen, this is exactly where assassination politics would come in real fucking handy.
Check out our episode on assassination politics, and if you go to the comments on YouTube, you'll see that the creator of that book that got sent to prison actually commented that he liked our work.
That's good.
Yeah.
I like that.
I feel like you already knew that.
I probably did.
I get it.
You know,
Swiss cheese.
holidays. You know, we talked about the amount of concussions I've had in my life.
Christmas pud.
You should be Christmas food. But
I kind of blame myself too. The Christmas thing.
Yeah.
I kind of really wanted to phrase it like, oh, you know, it's really cool. Like when you have a value model for what you do at your job.
Yeah.
And like your boss gives you a bonus.
Yeah.
Hey, here's a bonus for Christmas for your family. We must not hold a lot of value in some people's minds because we didn't get any extra patrons.
I'm going to say, you know, it's one of those times of year, you know, people are pretty strapped at this point in time because, you know, they're trying to.
I just have to bring it up with cheeky humor because how
that.
else do you sell yourself to a bunch of people? Like, I still feel so gross. Like, please give us your money. Like, we really want to do this full time.
Yeah.
It's gross.
At least we don't try to steal their money.
Nah, well, I'm not a goddamn thief.
No.
I don't have it. I mean, I've got a hat on, but it's definitely not a tiny one.
Oh, man.
But yeah, I hope you guys had a good Christmas. I'm not going to do a full plug right now, but we are on Patreon, Venmo, Cash App, and PayPal.
There you go. And we hope you had a Happy New Year as well.
I didn't.
You know.
Get that sick out of the way, though. I guess
I did.
It's going to be a great year.
I got pretty drunk.
I'm going to deliver some financial advice, too, real quick that I heard.
Yeah.
When you sign dates on things this year, you should write out a full 2020. Because otherwise, someone can backdate it and fuck your eyes out.
What do you mean, like?
If you just write, 1/6/20, somebody could put 07.
What the fuck?
Right? You're welcome. That was free.
So, I don't like that at all.
I didn't think about it. I heard it the other day. Yesterday, matter of fact.
So, we won't be able to change that till 2021 then.
I know that's right.
Because then they can't really...
Oh, really? This happened 2139, did it?
Liar.
Yeah.
But how about... There's a bunch of stuff. Well, I guess we should just talk about the douchebag that got fucking blown up by a drone missile.
Yeah.
I mean, here's the thing. I'm not gonna saber rattle on this one. I don't know where my saber went.
Johnny Tong sent me a video last night, and it was... And I know you're probably going to roll your eyes, right? Mm-hmm. You going to rattle that?
Yeah, don't mind me. I'm not... See, no, but you see, I'm not rattling the saber.
It's just a saber. It's not being rattled.
It's not being rattled.
You think they want to watch me swallow that on camera?
Oh.
Johnny Tong sent me a video last night. And insert eye roll if you want.
Okay.
Because I'm about half there. It's about QAnon.
Okay.
This cat was talking basically along the QAnon line. Mm-hmm. I'm not sure that he mentioned it directly, but that Trump knew there was a credible threat or threats to the United States from Iranian-backed terrorist attacks or some type of shit that was going to go down 2020 that would have led to full-scale war with Iran. So he thinks that the preemptive strike shows the globe hey, we justifiably did this because, the trying to make a new Benghazi type shit. So they technically, I guess, were okay with killing this dude in the court of public opinion, but that by doing that, he prevented full-scale war.
Okay.
And I also saw another theory today that this could be a deep state ploy because Iran's we're going to fucking kill you, Trump. They put $8 million on his head.
80 million.
80 million, sorry.
Yeah.
Missed a zero.
Yeah.
But that this could be his exit stage left where they fucking put his head back into the left and put us into full-blown martial law world war as a precursor to...
I mean, I feel like they've been trying to bait him with war with Iran for a while now.
Yeah.
So
I heard John Bolton got put in the hospital because he had an erection lasting longer than 4 hours when he saw the news about Iran. That little bitch.
I can't... here's the thing. That dude is a total douche, right?
Yeah.
And as far as I'm concerned, that dude falls under the Sic Semper Tyrannis catch-all.
Yeah.
Right? Because, listen, he was a piece of shit tyrant. I don't care who... I want... Okay. That's the part, it almost makes me want to side with people that are fuck yeah, he killed him. Good, good, good. Because, you've got douchebags that are, apologizing for us doing it. And it's no, here's the thing. As far as I'm concerned, killing him was just a half measure. And I told the vice president this earlier. I was in fact, I want to see more people killed, but not just on their side.
Right. It's similar to the thing we talk about when they're talking about the impeachment. I don't just want to see one impeachment. I want to see them all impeached.
Yeah.
Permanently.
I mean, I'll tell you what, one dead tyrant is a start.
Yeah. There was a sweet meme going around that didn't have any punch to it as far as a joke. Yeah. It just said, the tree of liberty is parched. It's time to water that tree.
Yeah.
With blood.
But yeah, as far as I'm concerned, it's a good start. You know what I mean? To a lot of dead tyrants. And I don't mean that on one side.
No, it's a problem. It needs to be purged. I've said that a lot.
So the world is free of one less douchebag. We just got to keep going.
Yeah. Why stop now?
Yeah. And anybody out there knows who I'm talking about. If you think I'm talking about you, then I probably am.
You're right.
If you think, oh, he's not talking about me, then you're also probably right.
Right. So, a mild segue. I don't know how much more news we got, but I got one. Mm-hmm. It has to do with this Iran story, because one of the things that I could see them doing in retaliation, because you saw they raised the red flag. You know what that means?
It's revenge, isn't it?
Yeah. They have a blue flag for peace, and when they want global, or I don't know if it's Islamic or if it's just Iranian. Something when it tells me it's some sort of Muslim thing, but I'm not a fucking sociologist, so I don't know. Mm-hmm. As long as the flag is red, it's basically a green light to attack Americans or infidels.
Do what thou wilt.
Until we change the flag back to blue, your blood is on your hands. Okay. So that happened, but here's the thing.
So the red flag basically is like, and I know this is it's kind of ironic. I don't know if ironic's the best word.
Isn't it ironic?
Carte blanche.
Yeah.
Right.
Come get some.
To do what you want to do, and you're not gonna have to worry about any repercussions for doing it.
I came to kick ass and read the Quran.
Which is funny because carte blanche.
I'm all out of Quran.
Yeah, carte blanche means white paper, but it's a red flag.
One of the things I could see them doing though would be to shut down the Strait of Hormuz.
I saw something about that. They said, someone said that, like, you know what Iran should really do? They should straight down the Strait of Hormuz, like completely shut it down, because it would shut down all commerce in the area.
It's going to make your fuel prices jacked up through the roof. Shout out $20 for a gallon of gasoline. And I don't know what it is in California, but a lot more there.
Yeah.
And then you got to think every single thing that's transported with diesel, which is everything you've had on your table or anything on your body, is going to be just as expensive. Price adjustments.
Yeah. Well, I mean, that is until we start opening up our own reservoirs and stuff like that.
Right.
But it's still not going to be cheap.
No. I saw a funny meme, too. The Frodo meme, where it's Frodo looking at the Ring of Power for the first time. Mm-hmm. Gandalf's like, "What do you see, Frodo?" And he looks at it, and it just says, "Iran has oil." And it shows Frodo's face with a flag over it, and it's like, we must give them freedom.
But yeah, I did see something earlier about them talking about the best option Iran has at this point is not bombing anybody or killing anybody. It's just shutting down that strait.
That would be a good non-violent way to show the fist of your aggressor, because you know the first thing America's going to do is open that motherfucker up.
Oh, yeah. That's going to be a Gulf. Like, to me, that's the Gulf of Tonkin right there.
Yeah.
Because they'll be like, oh, they blew up one of our ships. Whoa.
Yeah.
When in reality, they probably didn't. It was the CIA.
I mean, yeah. Shout out those alphabet soup boys.
But last thing before we get into the topic, I did want to touch on Ricky Gervais. God bless his soul and rest in peace, because that motherfucker's probably going to die soon.
El Presidente sent me those in the Instagram, and I did not watch them.
Man, listen, he did not fucking pull any punches. He told it like it was. Like, he told them, basically, they're a bunch of high and mighty, whiny, hypocritical, out of touch douchebags. Who just, all they do is fucking pat each other on the backs and tell them how good of a job they are, but then they want to preach to us on how to live our lives when these people have no fucking idea how we live.
No.
And not only that, they're only willing to criticize and preach as long as it doesn't affect their pocketbook. As soon as it starts to affect that, they shut the fuck up.
How many people in that crowd do you think sucked Harvey Weinstein's dick?
And that's the thing, like, here's the thing. I'm not gonna say that Harvey Weinstein wasn't a predator, but I'm gonna also say I'm sure there was plenty of women that went into the office knowing exactly what they were gonna do. And the thing is, it's like, am I gonna be mad at them because they did what they did to get ahead in their field? No, but at the same time, you can't, no backsies on that shit. Like, you can't come back years later and say, I mean, you went in there. You volunteered knowing he was a big old creep. And even then, I mean, I'm not trying to victim blame here, but even the people that didn't do it but knew about it and just sat on it for years because they couldn't say anything about it because it would affect their careers and affect their pocketbook. These people are fucking hypocrites. They don't really care about anything in particular, or they might care about it, but they won't say anything if it means their money. They're greedy whores.
I
They're
think
greedy whores. That's all there is to
I
it.
think anybody that supports the Me Too movement is a sexist. And I'll tell you why.
Tell me.
And it's a trigger warning.
Okay.
But I don't care.
Okay.
To my knowledge, nobody gave a fuck about the sexual abuse in Hollywood until it happened to Terry Crews. Changed my mind.
So you're saying Terry Crews got it all started?
Yes.
It's possible.
You should check out, I believe it was a Tim Ferriss episode.
I've listened to it
with Terry
before.
Crews.
Yeah.
I was telling the people.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, Tim Ferriss, Terry Crews. Listen to that interview.
I mean, I don't know. That's a hot take, but I'd have to do more research.
That's all I do
into it.
here.
Yeah.
I'm the hot take boy. That's a hot take boy.
Here's the thing. I'm not saying that there isn't validity to the Me Too movement. There's obviously, listen.
I just love that they use the pound sign. Pound me too.
You think about the Factory of Sadness. There is savagery abound in that place.
There's also a fucking healthy amount of women that love it.
They thrive off of it. But here's the thing: if they thrive off of it, that's one thing. But there are women there who have made it very clear that they do not like that kind of attention, and there are guys that do not get the hint.
Right.
You know what I mean?
For sure. I believe they call them hook hands, like they've got fish hooks in their hands.
Like, I'm such a fucking introvert. If somebody stops talking to me for more than 5 seconds, I'll usually go ahead and end the conversation, thinking that they're not interested anymore.
Yeah.
And a lot of people, I probably think I'm rude because
you mean
I do
like
that.
for conversation, not for sexual advancement, right?
Yeah, I don't.
Just clarifying.
Listen, I don't curry favor with sexual favors for advancement. That's just. I'm sorry. Maybe that's from a privileged standpoint because I'm a man.
Yeah.
And I've never had to use my sex to get what I want.
I mean, I've had to undo my buttons a few times in order to get a vacation day, but we do what we do. Corey Dieters in the Instagram said, "Screw Pedowood," and I tend to agree. Because fuck pedophilia.
Yeah, I can't disagree with that statement.
All right.
I'm not going to. You know?
So, what do you think? Little tiny housekeeping, and then we'll jump on into this bitch?
Yeah, let's do the housekeeping, then we'll get on it.
All right. If you like the Bones and Tubs podcast, we're on all the platforms. If it's your first time, hello. We need to record an intro. That's one thing I've decided we're doing for 2020.
Okay.
I don't know when. Soon.
So, like, just a beginning to each show?
Like, Bones and Tubs.
Okay.
I'm Bones, I'm Tubs.
Yeah.
That little ditty.
Okay.
But the Bones and Tubs podcast can be found on all the podcasting apps. We're on iTunes. We're on every fucking thing that does podcasts. We're also on YouTube. YouTube.com/Bones and Tubs show. Share us in your socials. Share us in your real life. Tell your friends. Tell your family. If you want to support us financially on a monthly basis, we got a Patreon, several reward tiers. We're about to release a book list. I actually typed it up. About to do some videos.
Yeah.
You know? I need to get with you to get your...
Oh, book list. Yeah.
I'm going to put that on the $5 tier. I'm going to start low.
Okay.
I got a whole bunch. I actually have them categorized. The first one's going to be a Law of Attraction series.
Mm-hmm.
The real Law of Attraction, not that bullshit.
Yeah.
And the next one's going to be like a dystopian novels.
Ooh.
And then the third tier, that's...
So are we like, how many books are we including in these? Like,
I'm just going to release one a month.
So like one book?
One book a month.
Okay. All right.
For the patrons.
Okay.
If the monthly thing's not you, hold on, before I get too far ahead of myself. We're also looking at making pins. We're going to change the whole brand. We've got t-shirts on there right now. We're in talks about doing lanyards. Eventually we're going to have a Shopify page.
Yeah.
Where everything's linked to Infidel Custom and all the orders go through him.
That would be cool.
So we're going to have to figure that out on Patreon as well. But basically get a monthly payment set up for us. So everything that gets paid goes directly to him. We get a statement. We get our cut.
That's cool.
If you're not about that monthly life, we're on Venmo. We're on Cash App, $ Bones and Tubs. And we're on PayPal. I did not know that PayPal owns Venmo.
It's kind of like...
I know. It's very super sad true love story-esque.
It's like having two buttholes or two mouths.
I knew one person that had two buttholes, and he was a piece of shit.
Oh, he was. I mean, and I don't mean this literally, but he was a turd.
Pa.
No pun intended.
Hey, we're also on Library, this new app that is on the blockchain. It is censor-free, LBRY. Check it out.
those things allow us and afford us to buy new equipment and new things to make the show better. You know, like if you're watching the show, you probably can't see it actually, because that's the whole intention.
Yeah.
But you can't see me looking over here at this screen.
You're not all sloppy like this guy over here. It's just got it laying on the table like some sort of schlub or a caveman.
But I have a beautiful new tablet stand.
Yeah.
That I can like look at stuff and as we're talking and everything.
I would describe it as blowjob level.
Yeah.
So if you were to record yourself and getting a blumpkin or a blowjob.
This is only a part of the height. It could go high. Like, I don't have it up all the way.
Oh,
because I just wanted it at this level.
Not yet.
Not yet. But so it allows me to hands-free look at notes or look at things that I wanted to look at during the show.
Yeah.
This actually wasn't bought with Patreon money. This is bought by I'm a Good Boy money from my mommy for Christmas.
Oh, shit. Keep going. Sorry.
Oh, but yeah, she bought it for me. Because she's a good mommy.
Love you, Mom. Love you too, you little shit.
Even though she didn't listen to the show, but
her nickname for me when we worked together at we'll just call it Houston Woods.
Yeah, it was Houston Woods. we don't have to block that one.
Yeah. I worked with her for a brief time when they needed somebody on day shift, and she nicknamed me the little shit.
Yeah.
Which is pretty apropos. I'm not sure what that means, but it feels good.
Yeah. But yeah, she got this for me. But the tablet and all this other stuff, that's all Patreon money.
Yep, Patreon money. And eventually, I have full intention of this being a full-time job. I'm not going back in the factory. And once that happens, I'm going to be honest with you, I'm going to tear that motherfucker down.
Yeah.
I'm going to let you guys know exactly what it was.
And if you would like to see us tear it down, patreon.com/bones and tubs.
I'm going to do things that are going to violate my non-disclosure agreement.
Well, once we're out of the non-disclosure agreement, what could they do at that point?
They can suck my fucking dick. That's what they can do.
But
like a doctor would. Last thing I got is Blooded the Brave. If you
yeah, definitely.
Like the music in the beginning, or if you like the music in the end, it's Blooded the Brave. That's that boy. Head on over to bloodedthebrave.com, buy some music. Let them know you know we love you. Say it. We love you, Blooded.
We love you, Blooded.
Yeah, he's on there. He's on all the socials, and he is on Bandcamp.
Ooh.
Just one time at Bandcamp, I put the government in my pussy. All right.
Oh, no.
So this topic came originally a long time ago, and I'm a piece of shit because I didn't push to get it done earlier. This came from Steve Kaminsky at Bacon and Wake Podcast.
Okay.
He tried telling me about it when he did his episode, and he actually interviewed the boy that they mentioned in the Fireside Chats episode.
Really?
The guy is being the most influential or the most knowledgeable in the subject.
Yeah.
So check him out on YouTube or check him out on all the podcasting apps. Baked and Awake, Steve Kaminsky. Well, smoke indica, do shit anyway.
It's good to have a space between, his Mud Theory one and say like our Mud Theory one.
That's true, I mean? But at the same time, it's like, goddamn boy, it's probably over a year.
Yeah.
And then 909 Vanin Bro, he's been sending me Max Egan stuff for a long time.
Yeah. And
I kept seeing this pop up, and then it hit me like, we need to do this as part of the new year. Mm-hmm. And then all of a sudden, fucking Greg Carlwood. He dropped it on the Fireside Chats. I was like, it's time, fuck it.
Yeah.
We got to do it.
And also, you should check out Greg Carlwood over at the Fireside Chats. We know about him, but I don't think he knows about us.
No, I've talked to him.
Have you?
Yeah, I've talked to him before.
Oh, shit.
Yeah. He's a super down-to-earth cat.
That's cool.
Yeah. He plays Overwatch.
Does he?
He's a Zenyatta boy.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
I was going to mention Overwatch, too. If you want to catch us, we're PC Master Race. So if you're on the console, if you're a console boy, I mean, I'm not trying to pick on you or nothing.
I am.
Now, everybody has their preferences. I'm not going to get mad at them if they like console.
I started playing it on Switch after Christmas when I got a Switch.
Yeah.
Terrible.
Yeah.
I still dominate, though.
So basically, we're PC Master Race on Overwatch. You are Bones and Tubs, correct?
Yeah, but there's some numbers at the end. I don't know what that's about, nor do I remember. But yeah, Bones and Tubs.
And I am LL86.
Got him.
If you want to find us, you play with us. We're looking to build we're putting a crew together.
I wonder why people were talking shit about Oprah in the comments, but then I noticed that John Tong said, so like an Oprah book club?
Oh, no.
Dieters laughed. Battle Bun Fitness, super excited. Dieters with that hitter. Fuck Oprah. I agree. Fuck that bitch, said John Tong. Dr. Phil did. And then we find out at the end that, and they're very correct, Oprah is one of them token black folks that they bring out to lure the blacks and the women because she's on board with the whole pedophile thing.
So she's like a Pied Piper then.
Yes, she is indeed a Pied Piper. Do not trust that bitch.
Okay.
Anyway, on to the topic.
Okay, so
I think I'm going to call it Tartaria, the Mud Flood, and the Orphan Train.
Okay, sounds good. So that's what we're talking about today. We're talking about 3 things that you should look into yourself because there's a lot of stuff with it. There's a lot of nuance to these things.
What we're doing basically is what we always do, and that's kind of salt the earth with your seeds of knowledge. If you feel compelled at all on any of these topics, definitely look all of them up. I'm going to do my best to put some links in the description.
So what do you want to start with?
Well, I think basically in my mind, we start with what Tartaria is, or the Grand Tartar.
The Tartarians. I think that's what they were
called. The
Tartarians,
yeah, that was another one.
Yeah.
A basic framework of that, and then talk about the mud flood, talk about the fires, the brutalism, and then we'll move into the various theories of the orphan train.
Okay, so if you keep hearing the word we're saying, Tartaria, and you're like, what the fuck is this?
Sounds
or
like
Tartaria. Tartaria, however you want to pronounce it.
Neither of us are English majors.
Okay, so, well, I think Tartaria might be it. So, if you're like, what the fuck are they talking about? Tartaria, what the fuck does that even mean?
What does it mean?
Okay, so, and it's funny, you grew up with a certain history, right?
Yeah, they lied to you, by the way.
You think, this is how things are, this is how things have always been, this is how things were in the past, and this is how they are now.
And they will always continue to be this way.
But here's the problem with that.
It's a lie.
Is that you get places like Tartaria. I'm going to fuck it up. I already know I'm going to say it all 3 different ways.
Whatever.
Okay. What did we say? Tartaria?
Tartaria.
Tartaria. Okay. Sorry. Very unprofessional.
No problem.
Basically, Tartaria was a nation that spanned all the way from like
Russia, the
like
Koreas,
we're talking Siberian Russia, which is the Far East,
China,
Mongolia, all the way across the Eurasian continent.
Isn't it all of Europe?
All of like Northern Europe, right?
Okay.
And apparently settlements in the North Americas as well.
Yeah, because they were about that life.
Well, I mean, if you...
Okay. I'm going to edit this out. But let's not forget the whole ether physics thing.
Okay. So, I mean, because I think their logic being, since it was across the Eurasian continent, I mean, if you think about the proximity between Siberia and Kamchatka, it's the last part of Russia in the risk map. It's Kamchatka, right?
I don't remember.
I think it's Kamchatka.
Yeah.
I'm going to say it's Kamchatka. It's either Kamchatka or I'm talking about a vodka. I don't know.
Oh, Kamchatka is definitely a vodka.
It might be a region of Russia,
it's that
too.
one you can buy at Walmart. It tastes like razor blades.
Yeah. So
this tastes like a hangover. I'm in danger.
The logic being that they crossed the Bering Strait is very small. So in theory, you could cross to North America with ease if your nation state is that fucking big. But and we're talking about this isn't something that was a short-lived thing. It's not ancient. This is something that went on for thousands of years.
There's also zero chance that it's bullshit because you can find it on 1700 and before atlases.
Yeah.
Not by just silly ass maps, but like by trusted world-renowned cartographers.
Yeah.
And of course, in the comments section, I'm sure there's fucking people screaming about flat Earth because I saw that shit over and over again. I got called a a globe-tard.
Oh, that nice.
Anyway,
I'm sorry, I'm not buying it. Okay.
I mean, I've not been to space. Like I said, I'm at best what you could call an Earth-shaped agnostic because I've never been there.
Yeah. Okay.
This story is proof enough that you can't believe anything they tell you.
This is what I'm gonna say. I know there's people out there that like black licorice, but I fucking hate the taste of it. So I'm not gonna fucking eat it.
Yeah, I get it. Racist.
Okay. But the thing is that, like you said, they're in old world atlases. there's some talk of it, but
They still have a flag that is like...
it's a griffin.
Yeah.
It's a yellow flag with a griffin on it.
Right.
And it was talked about. It was like...
Mentioned.
It's been mentioned, but the thing is that for the most part, it's just something that you don't see much of in any other text, right?
You're never taught about it in school. It's not in the history books.
Okay.
It's completely left out of the historical timeline.
I believe during the Higher Side Chats episode, Max Egan said that there was like a plaque that was found that was dedicated to... So like we've always been taught that the Napoleonic Wars were fought mostly between Napoleon and Alexander I of Russia.
Right.
Right. This plaque talks about how Napoleon and Alexander I, it talks about being allies and how we're stronger together.
Yeah.
And how...
Trying to get rid of them boys.
Yeah. And how, in reality, the Napoleonic Wars weren't about getting rid of each other, like the French and the Russians. It was about the French and Russians joining together to get rid of the Tartarians.
Yeah.
So, what the fuck is that even about?
Neat. If you're a history teacher, you should be ashamed of yourself.
I like my history teachers, though. I mean, they can't help it.
Yes, they fucking can.
Well, I mean...
Crack a book, bitch.
True.
I'm not a history teacher. I got a
True.
full-time job and I found this shit out. Right?
Like, most teachers, they're
History
not...
is your bag, bro.
They're not, you know... We're not talking about Indiana Jones here, man. You know?
Yes, I'm still holding them responsible. Wholly responsible.
I mean... Not everything they told us was bullshit, you know?
Yeah. Well, I mean, this
But the problem is that when you have something this big that you're just kind of ignoring and
Max
saying...
Egan talked about a lot of things being changed as far as this goes. Like, the slave trade could have been bullshit. Brings lines along with that fucking Kanye nonsense that we talked about before. It's like, where were the slave ships? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
What if that was all orchestrated in a way to keep us at each other's throats?
Well, I'm not saying that slavery didn't exist.
I'm not either, but I'm putting forth the theory.
That it didn't exist, or that the slave trade didn't exist?
Just to say that it was drummed up.
Okay.
It was changed.
Well, the way I interpret it from Max Egan was that it wasn't as big and that Africans were already in the Americas.
Yeah, because they already got here too. Like, we weren't the first. Fuck that Christopher Columbus bullshit.
Well, first of all, we know Christopher Columbus was not the first person here anyways.
Christopher Columbus, like, boys, changed my mind.
Yeah. Pretty sure the indigenous people that were here first anyways.
Well,
discovered
they had
it
to be,
first.
because how else would he smash their babies' heads on his fucking boat?
I mean, Chris Columbus was even the first European person to find this place.
Right. And what about the Nords? Like, they were here.
Yeah. There's like evidence of Nordic settlement in Canada, but they got beat out by the fucking indigenous folk.
And that's the thing, too, with the Tartarians. Like, they mention in Europe, and this kind of dovetails into the mud flood a bit, but like finding these buildings that are completely, like, some of them, they found villages, and this is the thing that fucked me up with the timeline, because I'm sorry, I'm everywhere, but like there was some sort of excavation that happened on I want to say a riverbed. They went 12 to 18 feet. That seems to be the recurring factor of depth, but that all of a sudden 12 to 18 feet of mud just showed up in a lot of places, completely covering everything that was there. And they found these houses, and on the houses they had dates. And the dates were, instead of being thousands of years ago, they had one that dated the Christ story like 400 years ago.
Doesn't even make any goddamn sense.
No. But it's just like, these fucking houses were preserved in mud.
Well, they talk about, because that kind of goes with our talks where we've had about old Earth theory, and even the theory that the Dark Ages are a myth.
Yeah.
Like, we never actually had the Dark Ages. They put us, it's like some sort of space holder.
The Dark Ages could have been, too, that reset.
Yeah. Dark Ages could have been very well 30 years. Right. Instead of like fucking 300 years.
Stretching it all the way out with an extra zero.
Yeah. Yeah. So
I don't even know how to really mix into these things, but like, they don't even have, like,
I think this episode is really just about the possible erasure of real world history, you know, because when you're talking about like the mud flood and stuff like this, because the whole mud flood thing is that you find these like buildings and stuff underneath the foundations of the buildings we've already built upon.
Right. And
it kind of ties into where we talked about before with old Earth theory, where like a lot of structures that are really old are actually way older than what we've interpreted them as, i.e. the pyramids and the Sphinx and things like that. we kind of came up upon them. They were already here.
Yeah, we just moved in.
And, they talk about the advanced tech, and we've talked about Atlantis before, but, and pulling energy from the ether.
Yeah. Now, that was a great theory, too, because, and this touches on to the building thing that I told you I had a fucking hard-on for.
Yeah.
Where they had all the, what would you call them? Victorian or?
Gothic.
So the Gothic structures that you see, like, I guess it's still kind of prevalent in a lot of the royal buildings in England, government buildings around the world.
I'd say like the ones the styles you're gonna find are Gothic, Victorian, which I think Victorian is like that's pre-modern as far as I'm concerned.
Yeah.
But like what you're talking about, I think mostly is Gothic, what they call Baroque.
Yeah.
Elizabethan.
They had archways in the windows, archways in general, columns.
Well, columns are classical.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I just mean these buildings had all these things.
Mm-hmm.
They were literally something inspiring to look at.
Yeah.
And they say, oh, we can't build those anymore because they're too expensive. But beauty pays for itself over and over again.
Yeah.
Through any number of ways. Tourism, Enlightenment, any of that, the Enlightenment era. Like, there was a period in time where we had all these buildings still around. And then around 1800 to 1840, around the world in all these cities, you can look it up. Columbus, Cleveland, Detroit. There were all these massive Chicago massive fires, and they burned down a lot of these areas. And a lot of these mayors were talking about like, oh, we're going to do modernization, and all that meant was we're moving into these areas, we're tearing these buildings down, and we're going to rebuild this fucking homunculus bullshit that we see now. Yeah. All of our cities are shit.
What's now called brutalism.
Yeah, so you have basically nothing left of that sort.
You've stripped bare all the creativeness of humanity with these buildings. Basically.
You have giant monolith structures, or like everybody's seen the boxes that they call shopping malls, or like the shopping centers.
Basically warehouses.
Everything's built cheap too. It's like concrete, plaster. It's built to be torn down.
Yeah,
it's
not built to last.
Not lasting beauty. The statues too are crazy.
And the thing is that video sent me kind of blew my mind because I kind of always had that mentality that like we don't have things like Europe has it, like old world structures and stuff. But that's all a lie. We did have those things. You could go back through and see all these cities, and you wouldn't know an American city from a European city,
right?
Saying the writing on placards and stuff like that. That's about the only telltale sign that you knew you weren't in like France or Germany or Italy.
I'm going to call them Tartarian era buildings because I feel like that's why they burnt them down. They wanted them to be covered up.
Now, because that's the thing, like, and it kind of made sense. Like, if the people who are coming here they come from these other countries and we're talking about stonecutters, masons. I mean, actual, like, not Freemasons, but Masons.
Well, Freemasons were the guild that they formed.
Yeah, well,
around that craft at the time, at least.
But you get what I'm saying, though, right? Like actual craftsmen,
right? For sure.
Bring those things with them and start practicing them here. Is create beautiful structures.
Yeah, that last.
Like, it made me sad looking at those buildings and being like, "This is what we used to have."
They talked about having citywide initiatives where they would literally use taxpayer money to go in and raise these buildings. Like RAZE them, tear them down, destroy them.
And I think I said earlier today we were talking about this, and I said that I was like, it's kind of weird because like in Europe, there's whole consortiums of people that stop that from happening.
Right.
And the thing is, that's not to say that it hasn't been tried. I mean, they talked about the firebombing of Dresden.
Yeah.
And Dresden was supposedly one of the most beautiful cities in Europe. Famous architecture. And we razed it.
Yeah.
We absolutely destroyed it.
Now, they say that, like, tearing these things down, I think Max Egan said in that Higher Side Chats episode, something along the lines of, like, you're destroying a man's history.
Yeah,
and a man with no history is like a tree with no roots. Yeah. So it's easier to lead.
Yeah. Not only that, it's easier to manipulate and to coerce you into believing different things.
Bullshit ass sports.
Like, imagine if you will. I believe like there's things that we were taught as children that they've already changed before a generation was out.
Yeah, for sure.
Because that's how easy it is.
Mm-hmm.
When you don't have roots, when you don't have a way to like connect with the world around you.
Cultural oral traditions.
Because you can walk in a Walmart 5 minutes from here or a Walmart 30 minutes from here. It looks exactly the same.
Right.
It's homogenized. It's not unique.
It's gross.
It's not individual. And that's the thing. They're trying to, with brutalism and all that, they're trying to beat out individualism in and of itself.
They're trying to break your spirit. I feel like it's a similar thing to all the lights. Like they have all the lights on all the time. You can't see the stars.
Yeah.
That does something to your psyche, your mental health. One of the things, too, that kind of blows my mind, touches on something that we've already talked about in the past, but depending on how crazy you want to go with this, it might not just be something as simple as a natural disaster that's the reset.
Yeah.
I was talking to, just say it, the Irishman, the Irish Jew, and he said something that I've heard 100 times, but hearing it today with this topic in mind really fucked me up. You've heard it said over and over again that every generation loses something, and they never have a piece. It's like every generation loses a piece, and every subsequent generation is less of the last generation. We are not our grandfathers.
No.
The greatest generation in our memory.
No.
And hearing him tell a story about teaching his kid to tan a deer hide, like, that fucked me up.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm not in his generation. I don't know anything about it. I'm sure there are people in our generation that do.
Yeah.
But it's like a slow bleeding off of this knowledge. And it's just like, I wonder if you take this thing to its craziest thing, we are in some kind of matrix. And it's like they just have a genetic line that they breed for a specific timeline to feed off of. And then they have to reset the thing for whatever fucking reason. And then they put the kids back in and they start over.
Well, I think that segues into the last part of our talk.
The orphan train.
The orphan train.
I know Wikipedia is a terrible fucking resource, but I'm about to use it. Now, I'm not going to say I was an A student, because I wasn't. But you were, for the most part.
Yeah.
Did you ever hear about the orphan train in high school, middle school?
The only thing close to the orphan train that I heard of was, it has to do with Germany during World War II, or before World War II. It was like 1936, and that was the kinder transports. That was where Jews, or anybody that wasn't fitting the mold in Germany, knew that there was shit coming down the pike, so they started getting their kids out.
This is definitely not that.
Okay.
This is from 1854 to 1929.
Well, yeah, I know where it's going, but that's before the last couple of days when we started talking about it, I didn't know about this.
I didn't either. It raises a lot of good questions. Max Egan fucked me up in that Higher Side Chats episode. He's like, think about it. 8 million kids go missing a year. Sure, you got some going to Epstein Island.
Yeah.
For the little fuck trade. You guys, I'm trying to do like a Russell Brand too. I gotta stop. But he said some of these kids are going to the sex trade for sure. The Epsteins, the local pedophiles. I'm sure slave labor.
Maybe not the cream of the crop. You know what I mean? Like,
right. But not 8 million fucking kids.
Yeah.
They're not all going into this shit.
Yeah, I mean, like, I think we would know if it was that. That seems like a lot.
That's a lot of kid fucking.
Yeah.
For sure. He kind of puts the idea in that these kids are being taken and put underground and trained and taught and then used later on. And I mean, we've talked before about like Iron Mountain, some of these underground structures that we've always thought maybe they use taxpayer money to build, right? The DUMBs, the deep underground military bases. What if those already existed?
You know what's crazy to me is that they could very well, like, if you're taking these kids underground and everything, they could tell them anything they want.
Oh,
it's
yeah.
Super dystopic, too, because, like, we've kind of heard this play out before. Like, they can just, like, completely play them.
Just to use a quick, like, modern reference that everyone would know, but Animal Farm.
Yeah.
They take the puppies away, the pigs do, to teach them, to educate them.
Yeah.
And when they come back, they're fucking vicious attack dogs.
Because, I mean, I think of it like in a Plato's Cave sense. They're being shown a completely different shadow puppet show than we're getting shown.
If you haven't seen the Plato's Cave animated story, it's like 8 minutes long. It's on YouTube. Check it out. But the Orphan Train was a supervised welfare program that transported orphaned, homeless children from from crowded eastern cities in the United States to foster homes located largely in rural areas in the Midwest. The Orphan trains operated between 1854 and 1929, relocating about 200,000 orphaned, abandoned, abused, and homeless children. 3 charitable institutions, Children's Village, founded in 1851 and by 24 philanthropists, and Children's Aid Society, established in 1853 by Charles Long Brace, and later the New York Founding Hospital, endeavored to help these children. The institutions were supported by wealthy donors, who numbered an estimated 30,000 in New York, blah, blah, blah. You go on further to find out that one house that got these kids in 1 year got 97,000 kids. One house. First of all, at that time, for that population, ain't no fucking 200,000 kids a year going somewhere that ain't being missed.
Yeah, exactly.
There weren't that many fucking people in the country.
No.
Where were these kids coming from?
Yeah.
So anyway, to bring back the whole theory that history is not what we've been told it is, I'm not buying that bullshit. And I think there's a reason why they don't teach it in school because, I mean...
Well, they don't want to tell kids that they're going to die one day because they already know a cataclysm's coming.
Right.
And they've already started... It's... Oh my God. You know what kind of makes me think of is like some sort of... It's like a harvest.
Yeah.
Like, they're like... You know, there's like those seed vaults, right?
Based on the genome, too, because they take their blood at birth, so they know their genetic predispositions.
Yeah, so like, you know, like they keep these seed vaults in case of like cataclysm.
Right.
This is like a human seed vault.
Yep.
And then they could tell them whatever they want to tell them about history.
Yeah.
To continue like some sort of fucked up cycle.
Or to start them back over as pioneers.
Yeah. But with like an already preconceived notion of what supposedly came before them.
Yeah.
With no evidence of us.
With an Old Testament and a fucking smile.
Yeah. You know, talking about history that never happened.
Pastafarians.
That's the next step.
Yeah. I don't know. It's heavy. One thing that I don't think we touched on, though, that I wanted to get back to real quick was some of these houses from the mud flood, right?
Yeah.
They're finding mansions, literal estates, under 12 to 18 feet of fucking earth.
Yeah.
And in these places, they don't have bathrooms. So
yeah, I remember hearing that and I was like...
At first, I thought, like everybody else, probably like, oh, they probably just had outside toilets or whatever. But Max Egan was like, what, in last incarnation, what were we?
Yeah.
To say that maybe we didn't need fucking bathrooms.
Yeah.
Type shit. That fucked me up. But then the most interesting thing ties in, and I talked to McClanahan about that today, ether physics.
Pulling energy from the ether.
Back when we first started getting our groove on, not just podcasting about dumb shit, but we did like a whole series, and we didn't even plan it this way, it just happened. But about 1800s to early 1900s inventors.
Yeah.
Tesla talked a lot about that shit.
Yeah.
Wilhelm Reich.
And for all this is the thing you got to keep in mind with them. Someone mentioned this during the Higher Side Chats interview. Greg Carwood did. I don't know why I say someone. He's like, you wonder why Tesla didn't talk about the ether or something like that. But the problem is that you're talking about something like you don't know the name of it.
Right.
You have to create a new name for it. What they called it in the old time was ether. We don't know what it's called now.
Yeah. But
it's still the same thing. It's this thing. And I was talking to the vice president about this. I was like, you think of it in the same sense, like Tesla didn't, like he rediscovered it basically. Mm-hmm. You know, when he shot electricity from his tower into the ionosphere.
Yeah.
And it bounced back and blew out the fucking Westinghouse building. Mm-hmm. Like he realized there was something we were missing.
There's a whole bunch of shit we don't see. We see like less than 1% of the visible light spectrum.
That, and think about the Wilhelm Reich stuff.
Yeah.
Like
our senses aren't shit compared to what's around us.
Yeah, I got to tell you, I'm kind of super proud, and he listens to the show too, of my cousin, because he's big into the organ thing now.
Which one? Which cousin?
Jake.
Is that the one that's in the dude wipes?
No.
The other cousin.
Yeah.
I met them before.
Yeah.
I just don't remember them.
Jake, he's
Swiss cheese brain.
Yeah. You've met him before because he comes and stays at the house sometimes.
Oh.
Yeah.
Disregard. I remember him now.
Yeah. He's big into the orgonite thing now.
That's cool.
And I kind of feel like we got to give a little bit of props for that. You know what I mean?
For sure,
like,
yeah.
But I think they were onto something that, I think, and this goes back to all the people we've talked about where they were onto something, but they couldn't quite put a thumb on it because it could have been something that we were about before. you talk about
free energy. I mean, how many times did we do a show on somebody from that time period that knew about free energy? Wilhelm Reich, Tesla, all of them.
Or you talk about different planes of existence, like with Carl Jung talking about how we all exist on the mental plane together.
Right. Or you hit like a middle ground too with the idea that, like, I was telling El Presidente about this earlier, like, we're basically energy slaves.
Yeah.
We work a tax slave wage for people we don't like to make money, to buy gas, to go to work, to buy electric for our houses,
yeah,
to keep the heat on, to keep the water warm. Like, all these things were handled fucking 1800.
Yeah.
They had it figured out. But we can't have that. We're not allowed to have free energy.
No.
Apparently, these houses they were finding, they didn't have space big enough for fire. They had ether physics. They didn't have fireplaces, and they were in fucking Europe.
Yeah.
And Russia. Like, places you would need a fire to live.
Obviously need at least with climate control.
At least with our bullshit timeline.
Yeah.
That just, I mean, I don't know. Like I said before, and with every other show we do, like, we try to do our best to find the best things to point you in the direction of.
Yeah.
We didn't do the 4-hour show work.
No.
But now you know the words, you know the search terms.
Yeah. We've given you the first tools on a journey that you should take.
Helping you learn the trivia method to teach yourself.
And the thing is I think that about wraps up with that. But before I go, I want to touch on if we do have Australian listeners, my heart does go out to you because I know you guys are going through it right now.
I want to know what the eco-terrorists are doing over there.
But I would like to point out the fact that it's on the record that there are, like I said, and this is where assassination politics comes in handy. There are oligarchs and
who are the companies set to benefit from this?
I don't know.
Because you said there was water control, right?
Well,
like they're trying to outsource their water.
I know somebody's putting out a big boycott on Nestle, but I don't know if Nestle's involved with that.
I wouldn't doubt it. They're the ones,
but they're involved with water rights here in the United States. So I wouldn't be surprised if they were involved with it.
Don't they have that sweetheart deal still in our Great Lakes where they pay like $50 a year to come in and fill up entire frigates and sell it back to us as Nestle bottled water?
Yeah. So
don't buy Nestle.
That being said, and this is the only time you'll get me close to, like, here's the thing. Accessibility to water is not something that should be controlled.
Well, I mean, in the United States, the land of the free, the home of the brave, like, you got to pay a permit to collect your rainwater.
Yeah.
Shout out to that dude that went to jail for 6 months for not paying his permit.
And anybody that likes to, like, lord over water and try to keep it from people and use it for themselves and da-da-da.
It's a deeper level of the energy control.
I don't know if you've ever seen it yet, but you probably will when your kids get a little older. But there's a movie called Rango. It's about a lizard.
Okay.
And he's a pet lizard. And then he accidentally gets knocked out of the car while they're traveling.
Is he one of those lizards with the crazy eyes?
Yeah, he's got chameleon. He's a chameleon.
Okay.
And he travels to it's like a Western, right? He travels to this little town full of different varmints, other lizards and snakes and porcupines and shit.
Hold on a second. Shout out Robot Interiors on Instagram. We love what you do.
And the town is like dying because they don't have enough water. And then, spoiler alert, you come to find out that they the guy that was in charge had control of the water the entire time, and they were using it to supply a golf course.
Oh, neat.
Yeah.
Neat.
So, that being said, Australia, you guys, assassination politics is a motherfucker. I think Iran's playing a little bit of assassination politics right now, too. I mean, listen, $80 million is not something to slouch at. And I'm not going to say who said it to me. I'm not going to say who said it to me earlier. But somebody did say, they're like, hey, I like Trump, but it's $80 million.
Oh, fuck no. Oh, man, I've never talked to somebody from the Secret Service, but that's about to happen tomorrow.
Or
tonight, perhaps.
Listen, we're just joshing. It's the Bones and Toast podcast. We don't take anything seriously. What? $80
million is a lot of money.
Yeah, I know. I'm just saying, it's a lot of money, man. Like, but
that's
here's the thing, though.
For those of you that don't
I would have to see it before I'd believe it. Not only that, I'd got to know that I could collect it before.
What if you go into your kitchen right now and there's a dude in a bathrobe and he's like, I have a briefcase wheel. $80 million. I'm not sure how much space $80 million takes up.
And you hear like that Middle Eastern like sing song, like it's like hi.
They're shooting AKs in the sky, and what is that shit they do with Jeeps where they drift them on the side?
I don't even know,
Oh, man, you got to look it up.
I'm going to look it up after the show.
I will talk shit, though, real quick on the way out of this, because I don't want anybody to think that we're in support of what happened in Iran, because I really don't know. But I do know that full-blown war with Iran is wanted by Saudi Arabia and Israel.
Yeah.
So there's that.
And that's the other thing is that someone asked me earlier today. They said, you're going to talk about Iran. And I said, well, we might mention it, but we're not going to get too big into it. Because here's the thing. As far as I'm concerned, right now, this is developing.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, you can't take a side on the developing story because, like I mentioned earlier, there could be the QAnon angle. There could be any number of angles.
Yeah.
It's hard to mention history that's in full motion.
You got to wait till the dust settles on this drone strike before you can start making an assessment of it.
I mean, Yellowstone's dust might not settle.
I mean,
but we need to let the dust settle on that drone strike, though.
So, with that being said, I think it's about time to wrap up the show.
Yeah, sure.
We'd like to thank y'all for listening.
Yes.
We'd like you to check out Patreon.
Patreon.com/Bones and Tubs. Several reward tiers, a lot about to change. If you like book lists, we're about to start up a big one. Mm-hmm. Several hit series. We got Law of Attraction, the real one, Dystopia, and Question Mark.
Yes. Oh, I'm sure we'll find something.
Oh, we found it. I just don't want to mention it yet.
Oh, okay. So, we got that coming up. We're trying to work on pins. That's a hard road to hoe.
Little pin. Let everybody know you're in the... What is it called?
The Eternal Order of Bones and Tubs.
The Eternal Order of Bones and Tubs. I've yet to rebrand it in my mind.
Yeah.
We used to be a nation, but then we decided that nations prefer suckers.
Yeah. We're just a sacred order of, like, knights.
Yeah.
You know? But good knights, not rapey knights.
What better way to pass on the truths of the Kabbalion, than a book list?
Yeah. We'd like to thank Blood of the Brave for letting us use his music on the show.
bloodofthebrave.com. Blood of the Brave on all the socials, and Blood of the Brave at Bandcamp.
You can hit us up in our email.
bonesandtubs@gmail.com. I'm still waiting on another long-form email because that shit gets my rocks off.
Yeah. You could hit us in the DMs on Instagram.
Instagram.com/bonesandtubs.
You could still contact us on Facebook, too.
No, you can't.
Okay.
I'm not gonna. I don't know.
I
answer it very poorly.
Listen, I think email is probably either email or Instagram is your best option to get in touch with us.
Due to Gary V's latest videos, I'm going to start putting a lot more content on LinkedIn.
Ooh, there you go.
He said that Instagram is still at the apex, but it's on its way out, and LinkedIn he thinks is the next baby.
Well, Gary V does know what the fuck he's talking about.
We are already on LinkedIn. LinkedIn at Bones and Tubs.
There you go.
We're also on YouTube. Go on there while we're still on.
Yeah.
Did you know? Well, you don't upload to YouTube, but I'll tell you real quick. Mm-hmm. They changed the whole platform to uploading.
Yeah.
Right? You have to click a button that says at the bottom of every video, is this video intended for children or not intended for children? Of course, I put not for children.
Yeah.
But somebody that does video game videos, like on Overwatch, which is played by a lot of children, which is, they don't meet the age requirement.
Yeah.
And if they put for children, they can be fined by the FCC $40,000.
Holy shit.
And it's up to the discretion of the FCC person.
What the fuck?
Isn't the FCC the one that does TV too?
Federal Communications Commission.
Yeah. So on TV, it's fine for you to put a little thumbnail somewhere like TV, T for teen or G or MA. Mm-hmm. You can do that on YouTube and it's not good enough. Huh. So welcome to the Wild West of YouTube. Hope nobody gets hit with that $40,000 hitter.
Fuck all that.
Be careful.
Yeah, fuck all that.
We're also on BitChute. We're also on Pornhub. Because Pornhub, something tells me they're not taking our videos down.
No. And, it's a good, like I said, you clear your mind,
Clear your mind.
You clear your mind, and then your mind is open to new ideas.
Open for Bones and Tubs.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Taking those new ideas.
Those truths. And then tell your friends. But don't tell them you found us on Pornhub. Tell us you found... I was listening on iTunes.
Yeah.
On my way to work, not after I masturbated.
I really hope that, what would be funny, though, is people, shared our link to Pornhub. Hey, you guys need to take a listen to this.
Yeah. We're the only two people in the Factory of Sadness that have a porn channel that haven't been shit-talked for being homos yet.
What does it say? Well, that's the thing. We might be the only thing that somebody would share from Pornhub on their social media page.
Still not safe for work, my friends.
Yeah. Oh, definitely not.
Gotta wear headphones.
But we'd like to thank y'all for listening. We hope you enjoyed the show. We're glad to be back.
Welcome to 2020.
Yeah.
Get ready for the boogaloo. It's coming.
Yeah. We hope you guys have a good week. We hope to see you next time. And fuck that up. We hope you enjoyed the show. We hope you have a good week, and we hope to see you next time.
We love you.
We really do.
The bad thing about being honest and straightforward and doing that is people know where you stand and they try to take advantage of you. They take advantage of your good nature. They take advantage of the fact that they know that you're a good guy, you are a straight shooter, and that you're not going to retaliate on them when they fuck you. Well, folks, most of the time I believe that's probably true. But God built me to be here to prove to you that what you have been doing for God knows how many years is wrong. You picked on the wrong man. I'm not tough.
You hear that?
I'm not that strong.
Yeah. They rolled up in all black. Windows half cracked. Scoping out the scene before they attack. Had they on bad guys in most people's eyes. Most trust them with their life cause they got a badge of tie. Gifted a position given to them by a system that set it all up to put the kids into prison. This is non-fiction, non-violence, so just listen. They got a mission to imprison your mind and soul. This ain't nothing new, but we survive what we're sold. And don't believe in ourselves, but believe what we're told. And we're all molded by a machine that gets in your dreams. It can get in your gut and kill your self-esteem. And I've been scolded and told who I should be, but I'll never conform. I was born to be free. It's a setup, I never let up. From the cradle to the grave, they got you in the cage. It's a setup, so keep your head up. Cause they're selling all that doubt with every word at the mouth. It's a setup, I never let up. From the cradle to the grave, they got you in the cage. It's a setup, so keep your head up. Cause they're selling all that doubt with every word at the mouth. Giving numbers a birth, yeah, that's a fact. Deny it if you want, but I'll do the math. I face facts and understand. Had to overstand the plan with my mind intact. And I got more than a plan, I got hope and belief, dreams and faith, and know damn well that's what they want to take. It's a weapon. Fear is aggression, and they plant it in our minds to the point we can't find a way out, a way in. And anywhere you go, you'll see how many men over there and everywhere. They're armed and prepared to do whatever it takes. They don't play fair, that's a jump out boys with the plastic toys draped in all black, ready to bring the noise. A setup, I never let up. From the cradle to the grave, they got you in the cage. It's a setup, so keep your head up. Cause they're selling all that doubt with every word at the mouth. It's a setup, I never let up. From the cradle to the grave, they got you in the cage. It's a setup, so keep your head up. Cause they're selling all that doubt with every word at the mouth.